Most men go through life completely blind to the hidden rhythms that dictate attraction, romance, and desire. They try to initiate intimacy at random times, relying entirely on guesswork, and then wonder why they face cold shoulders, mixed signals, or outright rejection. The truth is that a woman's desire is not static. It operates on a deep, powerful cycle driven by shifting hormones, brain chemistry, and emotional peaks. There are three distinct windows where her natural resistance drops to zero, and she is completely wired to crave physical and emotional connection. When you learn to recognize these specific moments, you stop forcing interactions and start moving in perfect sync with her natural impulses. To truly master this, you have to understand that a woman's body and mind are constantly reacting to internal shifts that she might not even consciously realize are happening. One day she might feel completely distant or overwhelmed, and the next day she is actively seeking your touch, looking at you differently, and dropping undeniable hints. This sudden shift isn't random. It is the direct result of biological triggers and emotional highs that completely alter her mood and her responsiveness. Understanding these moments isn't just about waiting for the right time on the calendar. It's about becoming highly observant and learning to read the subtle changes in her energy, her tone, and her body language. When you know exactly what is happening beneath the surface, you gain a massive advantage because you no longer have to second guess her interest. You begin to see the world through the lens of body chemistry and emotional peaks, allowing you to identify the precise windows when her guard is completely down. In these moments, she doesn't just tolerate closeness, she actively pursues it because her own body and emotions are demanding that connection. Let's strip away all the confusion, stop going around in circles, and dive straight into the exact mechanics of these three irresistible moments so you know exactly what to look for and how to respond. The first major window of irresistible desire opens up during what is known as her natural safe period, which happens immediately after her menstrual cycle ends. To understand why this moment is so powerful, you have to look at the massive relief that occurs both biologically and psychologically inside a woman's mind. Every single month, a woman's body goes through a rigorous hormonal cycle, and the moment her period finishes, her fertility drops to its absolute lowest point for the next 7 days. For any woman who is highly aware of her body and wants to avoid an unplanned pregnancy, this specific post period week represents total freedom. It is a time where the constant subconscious worry of what if completely vanishes from her mind. And that mental shift changes everything about how she responds to you. When the fear of pregnancy is taken out of the equation, a woman's entire demeanor transforms because mental relaxation is the ultimate prerequisite for female desire. For many women, anxiety is the number one killer of romance, and nothing creates more background anxiety than the stress of a ticking fertility clock or the worry of birth control failure. But during this post cycle window, usually lasting about a week, she knows she is in the clear. Because she feels safe, her brain stops overthinking. Her defenses drop completely, and she is able to fully immerse herself in the present moment. You will notice that during these 7 days, she becomes significantly more enthusiastic, much easier to connect with, and far more expressive with her affection because there are no mental roadblocks holding her back. This is the exact reason why you will often see a woman completely change her behavior during this week, even becoming the one who actively initiates physical contact. She might start dressing differently around the house, lingering longer during hugs, or dropping incredibly clear hints that she wants to be close to you. She isn't just open to your advances, she is genuinely looking for that connection because her body feels light, energized, and entirely unburdened by stress. If she tracks her cycle closely, she knows exactly how safe this window is, which gives her the confidence to let go of all inhibitions. She can completely embrace her passionate side without hesitation, making this 7 day gap one of the most effortless and highly receptive times for you to build deeper closeness. The second undeniable window of desire has nothing to do with the calendar and everything to do with her emotional state, specifically when she is riding the wave of a massive life win. Human emotions are incredibly powerful drivers of physical desire. And when a woman experiences a major breakthrough, her entire internal chemistry undergoes a dramatic upgrade. Think about the pure euphoria that comes with celebrating a birthday, marking a beautiful relationship anniversary, landing a major career promotion, or finally securing a massive business contract she worked months to close. In these exact moments, her brain is completely flooded with an intense rush of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, which are the body's natural feel good chemicals. This massive wave of happiness creates an instant emotional high that completely overrides any daily stress, exhaustion, or lingering anxieties, leaving her feeling absolutely unstoppable and vibrantly alive. What most men fail to realize is that extreme happiness and physical desire are deeply connected. When a woman is mentally elevated, she naturally opens up physically and emotionally. That euphoric energy cannot just be bottled up inside. It needs an outlet, an expression, and someone to share it with. When she looks at you during this peak moment, she views you as her partner in success, the person she wants to anchor that incredible feeling to. The pure joy she is experiencing melts away every single layer of defensive armor, making her exceptionally receptive to your touch, your words, and your presence. Her guard is completely gone because her mind is focused entirely on celebration, pleasure, and gratitude, turning a standard evening into an incredibly passionate opportunity for deep connection. During this emotional peak, you will notice a complete shift in her openness and creativity when it comes to intimacy. Because her confidence is skyrocketing and her mood is flawless, she becomes incredibly adventurous and completely open to stepping outside of her usual routines. This is the time when she will gladly embrace new experiences, laugh off awkward moments, and match your energy with a level of enthusiasm you don't see on a stressful Tuesday evening. She wants to feel the full depth of her success, and celebrating that victory with intense physical closeness is the ultimate way for her to cap off the win. If you are observant enough to match her high vibrational energy, celebrate her achievements genuinely, and step up to meet her in that moment of peak happiness, you will experience a level of uninhibited passion that only comes when a woman is feeling completely victorious in life. The third and absolute most powerful moment of all is driven entirely by raw, unfiltered biology, and it happens during her ovulation phase. This is the absolute peak of a woman's monthly cycle, the exact moment when an ovary releases a mature egg down the fallopian tube, signaling to her entire system that it is time to reproduce. You have to understand that human biology is incredibly ancient and powerful. And when this window opens, her body completely takes over her subconscious mind. Even if she is not consciously thinking about having a baby, and even if she tells herself she is too busy or too tired, her hormonal shifts completely rewrite her priorities for a few days. Her estrogen and testosterone levels spike to their highest points of the entire month, creating a massive, unavoidable surge in her natural libido that completely reshapes her desires from the inside out. During this intense biological peak, a woman's craving for physical touch, affection, and intimacy skyrockets to a level that is almost impossible to ignore. Her body is essentially screaming at her to find a partner, which means her sensory awareness becomes highly elevated, and she becomes deeply sensitive to your scent, your voice, and your physical presence. If she is in a relationship and has actively decided that she wants to start a family with you, this is the time when she will completely cast aside any hesitation and pursue you with absolute intent. She will become the aggressor, tracking you down, planning dates, and ensuring that nothing gets in the way of you two being together. Her maternal and reproductive instincts align perfectly, making her hyper focused on turning that biological window into a reality. However, the most fascinating part about this phase is that even if she has absolutely no desire to get pregnant, or if she is just a casual partner, her primitive biology still reacts exactly the same way. The hormonal rush doesn't care about her logical plans or her career goals. It purely demands satisfaction. Because of this internal friction, she will experience a deep magnetic pull toward physical connection that she simply cannot resist, often wondering herself why she suddenly feels so incredibly passionate and easily aroused. Her natural defenses, hesitation, and typical boundaries drop significantly during these few days because her biological programming is actively working to make intimacy happen. When a woman is ovulating, she is operating on pure instinct, making this the single most potent window for raw attraction, intense desire, and effortless physical chemistry. As a man, understanding these three powerful windows of desire gives you an incredible advantage, but it also demands a massive amount of responsibility and absolute clarity, especially when it comes to that biological peak. You cannot afford to walk through life completely oblivious to these shifts because navigating a woman's ovulation phase blindly can completely alter the course of your future in an instant. If you are not in a place where you are ready to become a father, or if you and your partner have not explicitly planned to start a family, entering that biological window unprepared is an incredibly high stakes gamble. When her body is screaming to reproduce and her libido is at an all time high, it is easy to get swept up in the intense passion of the moment. But you must remember that this is the exact time when her fertility is at its absolute peak. Knocking on her door during these specific days without taking the proper precautions is the fastest, most certain way to receive a surprise pregnancy announcement just a few short weeks down the line. This is exactly why you need to transition from a man who just guesses his way through relationships to a man who is highly observant, analytical, and deeply aware of his partner's natural rhythms. You have to pay close attention because a mistake made during this brief biological window carries lifelong consequences that you cannot undo. Many men end up in unplanned marriages or face the massive responsibility of fathering a child they weren't ready for simply because they couldn't read the room and didn't understand the science behind a woman's cycle. You need to know exactly when to enjoy the effortless passion and when to step back, use maximum protection, or exercise extreme caution. It is all about being a leader who understands the mechanics of attraction and biology, rather than being a passive participant who gets caught completely off guard by a life changing event. Because this information is so crucial for your freedom, your future, and your peace of mind, we are not going to leave you hanging or expecting you to guess when this phase is happening. In our very next segment, we are going to dive straight into the practical side of things and break down the exact, unmistakable physical and behavioral signs to look out for so you can easily recognize when a woman is ovulating. We will cover everything from the subtle changes in her body language and voice to the clear physical cues her system drops when she is at her most fertile. Armed with that knowledge, you will never have to guess again, and you can protect yourself from making a massive, unplanned life mistake. If you found this breakdown incredibly valuable and straightforward, make sure to smash that subscribe button right now. Share this video with a friend who needs this reality check, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay sharp, stay observant, and I will see you in the next segment.